All right, when you hear the word chaos, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm guessing it's something like disorder, confusion, maybe a total mess. It's the word we use for a crazy week at work or an unpredictable stock market. But what if that's only half the story?
What if I told you we're about to flip that entire idea on its head? Get ready, because we're going to start seeing chaos not as the enemy of order, but as its hidden, much more complex, and frankly, way more interesting cousin.
So on one side, you have the popular view, right? Chaos is just random, unpredictable confusion. But then you have the scientific reality, which is something else entirely. It sees chaos as a complex but deterministic order. That's right, a system that actually follows very specific rules, even if they're incredibly sensitive. The journey of how we got from one definition to the other is pretty amazing. To really get what scientists mean by chaos, we have to do a little detective work. We've got to trace the word itself, all the way back to its origins. Its journey through history actually tells us a lot about how we've seen the world and the unknown. So the word starts with the ancient Greek chaos, but here's the twist. It didn't mean disorder at all, not even close. It meant a vast, gaping emptiness, the primordial void from which literally everything in the cosmos was born. So in its original sense, chaos wasn't destructive. It was pure, raw potential. It was the necessary blank canvas for creation. And from that point on, the meaning of chaos went on a wild ride. In ancient Greece, it was this creative void. Early philosophers like Heraclitus even saw it as a kind of dynamic, flowing order. But then, during the Middle Ages, its reputation took a nosedive. It got tangled up with ideas of sin, disorder, and everything that went against divine perfection. It wasn't until the 20th century that science finally stepped in to reclaim the word and give it a whole new, powerful definition. And that brings us to the big scientific revolution in how we understand chaos. This is where things get really, really cool, because scientists started discovering hidden rules and predictable patterns inside what just looked like total randomness. Welcome to the world of chaos theory. This is the field that studies systems that look random but absolutely are not. Deep down, they're following very specific deterministic laws. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. These systems are unbelievably sensitive to their starting point. And that little catch leads to one of the most famous ideas in all of science. Of course, I'm talking about the butterfly effect. You've heard the phrase, right? A butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil, and that tiny disturbance, over time, sets off a tornado in Texas. Now, that's a bit of poetic license, for sure, but the scientific principle behind it is absolutely real and profound. So, how does it actually unfold? Well, it all kicks off with one tiny, almost immeasurable change at the very beginning. From there, the system just does its thing. It evolves according to its own strict rules. But that initial microscopic difference gets amplified again and again and again until it cascades into a completely different, totally unpredictable result down the line. And this isn't just some abstract idea that exists in a lab. We see chaotic systems at work literally everywhere. It's exactly why long-term weather forecasts are so incredibly hard to get right. We see it in the wild swings of global financial markets, in the delicate balance of an ecosystem, and even in the complex firing of neurons inside our own brains. For the longest time, these systems just seemed too complex, almost hopelessly unpredictable. But now we have a new tool in our arsenal, a tool that can see the hidden patterns that we can't. And that tool, you guessed it, is artificial intelligence. AI is becoming the key that allows us to unlock the hidden architecture of chaos. It's helping us finally see the deep, deterministic order that was there all along, just buried under what looked like randomness. So how in the world does AI do it? Well, it can tear through unimaginable amounts of data to spot those deep structures and hidden patterns our brains could never find. It helps us anticipate fluctuations in things like the stock market or weather patterns, basically turning unpredictability into something we can actually use. It's even being used to build incredibly robust new security methods based on chaotic algorithms for encryption. So, now that we have this incredible new understanding and we have AI to help us decode it, the big question is, what do we do with it all? This is where we can start applying it in the real world, and a new framework is helping us do just that. It's a multidisciplinary framework called the ARTESEROSTEK lens. The whole idea is to completely reevaluate chaos. It combines perspectives from art, technology, and science to look at chaos not as a problem, but as a dynamic, powerful force for innovation.
Let's break that down real quick. From an artistic angle, embracing chaos inspires artists to shatter old forms and find brand new ways to express themselves. In the world of technology, understanding chaos helps us build stronger, more resilient systems and, as we saw, super secure encryption. And for science, well, it's pushing us to uncover entirely new layers of complexity and everything from the human brain to entire ecosystems. You see, what this all comes down to is a fundamental shift in our mindset. Instead of trying to fight chaos or eliminate it, we can start exploring it. The moment we start treating chaos as a reality to be understood, not a problem to be fixed, we open up this incredible door to growth and resilience.
So we've come a pretty long way from that ancient Greek void, haven't we? Our modern view of chaos is so much richer, so much more nuanced, and honestly, a whole lot more useful. If you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Chaos is not the enemy. It's a fundamental feature of our universe. And when we choose to lean in and explore it, it becomes one of our most powerful catalysts for discovery, for creativity, and for innovation. So the question isn't how we avoid chaos anymore. The real question is, how do we harness it? By embracing its complex, deterministic, and sometimes messy beauty, we can find new solutions, create new art, and discover new ways of seeing the world. So I'll leave you with this. What will you create with it?